Peace and love, y'all. Peace and love. Y'all, excuse me. They good. It's tired. Y'all got this little beauty filter on. It got my face looking different. Like, I don't even look like myself. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get to the point. Mama Bear speaking. Okay? How many of y'all have watched Family Matters? And the episode when Carl, basically his mama started to date, right? And Carl is grown, right? Carl is a daddy, you know what I'm saying, of a family, a whole family. But soon as Mama Carl decided she wanted to meet the love of her life, old Carl just lost his mind. He wanted to come, try to manipulate them and break them up and try to come in between them or whatever. And Carl was grown as hell now. How many of y'all remember that episode, right? Okay, cool. So the reason why I said that is because, and the reason why I titled this video Pop Your Shit, is because if you are a parent who has wrapped your entire life around your children, it's time for you to pop your shit. Yes, I'm here to tell you it's okay to pop your shit. Because if you have built your entire existence around your children, it's cool to put your kids first, right? It's cool to make sure that they have everything that you never had. But you got to think about it. You are a parent. You are renting them for just a short while. So at some point in life, they gonna get grown and they gonna leave the nest. They gonna say, you know what? I'm tired. I'm ready to go. So at that point, you feel what I'm saying? You have to be okay with your seeds leaving the nest. You have to be okay with that. And so when they gone, guess what? You don't want to be gone with them, because many of us build our whole existence around our children. So when they finally decide to leave, they take us with them. And then we ain't got no life. We don't know what to do. We don't know how to live. We don't know where to go. We don't know. So this is why it's important to keep up self-love for yourself as well as being a parent. Yeah, it's cool to put your kids first, but it's also cool to put yourself first as well. And see, we living in a world now with these millennials that we have are very entitled children, because we have given them everything that we never had, right? So now that, we decide that we're going to love on ourselves a little bit, a lot of them are not going to be happy about it. So if you decide to go and, venture off and do, pursue a great career or pursue happiness or love or anything of that nature, they probably going to come up against you and try to fight you because, not physically, but come up against you and distract you and detour you, because they realize your existence doesn't wrap around them. Basically, in other words, they're going to have a temper tantrum. In other words. So you have to be prepared for the tantrums, because it's going to happen. You feel what I'm saying? And so being a parent, especially like myself, who will make your child your whole existence, or your children, but you, at the end of the day, when you have to start living for yourself and not feel bad for putting yourself first, right? No matter how that child might feel, you can't feel bad and say, well, I don't want my child to feel like this. That ain't got nothing to do with you. That ain't got nothing to do with you, because at the end of the day, your child gonna feel the way they gonna feel. And you cannot shrink yourself trying to minimize yourself trying to appease them just because, my baby don't want me with him, so I don't want to, I ain't gonna talk to them. My daughter don't like her, so don't stop your happiness because of these children, because they don't want to see you go and choose you. They don't want to see you pop your shit, because you've been popping their shit all along. And when they decide to leave your nest, you ain't supposed to pop your shit. They expect you to be old and crumbled up and not supposed to. But I'm here to let you know, pop your shit. You ain't even got to wait till you old. Don't wait till you old. And don't wait till you ain't got to wait till your kids leave the nest. Pop your shit while they in the nest. So when they leave the nest, you know what to do. Get what? Put your clothes on, go enjoy life, go have fun, and keep living. Your world does not stop because they left the nest. And just because they catch an attitude, because you are not sitting up collecting dust because of them, has nothing to do with you. You go and enjoy your life and have fun. If love is what you want, do not allow your children to come in between it, especially if they asses is grown and you have raised them to the best of your ability with all of the tools that you had, and you giving them everything that you could possibly give them. And if they're trying to come in the way of anything that makes you happy, and you have done all of the things that you could do in your power to make sure your children are happy, then by all means go be happy. And your children, that you ain't got to have a consent. You ain't got to have a consent. Because a lot of times people ain't gonna consent for things that's good for you, because they feel like, okay, well, if you've had your whole world wrapped around me for so long, now you done found love and happiness, or you done found a new job, a new career, or whatever. Oh my God, that means you're not going to be able to be so focused on me. You're not going to be able to give me all of your attention anymore. Your world is not going to be wrapped around me. Me. And so we have raised a generation of me's. Me. Woe is me. And see, I've been telling people all day, I can remember back in the day when my child, when we were younger, and we were be in the grocery store in Walmart, and I'm pretty sure every parent then dealt with something like this, but you would go to the store and the child would want candy or, all kind of stuff, and you'd be like, no, not right now. I came in here to get this spaghetti stuff to fix us some dinner tonight, because I ain't got but $20 in my pocket, but you want some candy, and the candy costs $4, but it's either the candy or the food, right? And a lot of times mothers are stuck between a rock and a hard place like that. But see, I ain't never been that mother to sacrifice what I need for something we want. And so I'm the type of parent where I don't mind. I make sure you have the necessity. So if you want to fall out in the floor and act a fool because I can't buy you no candy because I got $20 in my pocket because your daddy won't help me take care of you, then guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep walking to go get that spaghetti stuff and leave your ass on that floor having a temper tantrum. And you better hope you don't get left. You better get up and dust yourself off before you get left, because I don't have time to get distracted trying to take care of you and make sure you don't starve because you want some damn candy. So take that story and that metaphor and apply that in your everyday life when it comes to your kids, because many of us adults are being put in a compromising position when it comes to us and our seeds. And so, like, I was watching TikToks about 50 Cent and his child. And they were trying to make it like 50 Cent was being a bad dad and wouldn't take care of his son, this, and that, blah, blah. And I'm like, I know this man ain't got power and empire and all these type of fire shows and not taking care of his son. No, 50 Cent ain't that type of man. 50 Cent had to speak for himself and let him know, hey, I took care of that nigga. I took care of that nigga as long as I was supposed to take care of that nigga and how I supposed to, and the way I wanted to take care of him. But then when he got older, he expected me to carry him and baby him. Just because we rich don't mean he ain't got to put in work and earn for himself. And so 50 Cent just pulled back that pacifier, snatched it out of his mouth, and he started hollering. You see what I'm saying? And so that's what a lot of us parents are going through right now, is that the passy and the titties are being snatched out of the mouths, and the children are yelling, they're hollering, they're upset, because now reality is starting to set in. Now responsibility is starting to hit them. Now real life is starting to come in, and they don't like it, especially when they want to go and be grown. And then they get mad at you because you want to let them be grown. Don't get mad at me because you want to grow up fast. I used to hear all the time, stay a child as long as possible. And a lot of these kids don't want to stay children as long as possible. And some of them do, but they do it in the wrong way, where they feel like you're not supposed to ever grow or go do anything for yourself. And that ain't got nothing to do with you. So do not be those parents who allow their children to hinder them just because they your damn kids. And see, I put up a post about a situation with my daughter. Many of you already seen it, about a situation with this predator being in my daughter's inbox DM. And at the end of the day, I had to do it for the betterment of my child, and not only my child but other people's children. And of course I had to sacrifice her peace a little bit, and mine as well, just to free some people. But I still can't allow that to stop me from what I'm called to do, right? So, at the end of the day, people were coming for my parenting. And, you know, I got a lot of people that were telling me, hey, you did a good job. Thank you. You freeing people. But then you got a few people who want to put their mouth on my parenting, saying that I'm talking to my child crazy or I'm talking to her in a way that I shouldn't. But I had let them know, baby, let me make it very clear. If you don't know me by now, 7 is not like everybody. 7 don't get in the line with everybody. 7 ain't get in the line and follow the leader person like everybody else. 7 is put here to be a trendsetter. 7 is put here to be a leader, to create a pathway that nobody else created. So at the end of the day, I'm not here to go and parent like the rest of you niggas. With all my excuse me, but don't excuse me. I'm not here to parent like the rest of you niggas, because look where it done got us. Nowhere, right? So we're here to bring back stability and boundaries and set morals and standards and stuff for our children, right? But we can't do that if we babying them and pacifying them all the time and being all sweet while they bashing you upside the head like Bam Bam. No. You ain't got to be sweet all the time. And people were upset because I'm letting them know that I'm not feeding into my daughter's tantrum, because my daughter's the only child that I got biologically, because I have plenty of spiritual children. But at the end of the day, for people to come for me as if I don't know what I'm doing, baby, take several seats. Because if you've been in my shoes and you see how great of a mother I am, you shut the fuck up and mind your business. And sometimes when you're a great parent and you've done all that you can do for your kids, sometimes the best thing you can do for their asses is nothing at all, for them to learn a lesson. So people can come and judge me about how I'm running my parentship, but you can take your ass over there and exit stage left and watch me work. Because maybe you can learn a thing or 3. Because I ain't here to let my child tell me what to do. Not nothing I went and carried for 9 months and bared out of my body. No. Not something my ribs had to shift for. Her ribs ain't shifted for me. Mine shifted for her. So at the end of the day, I'm not here to appease her tantrum. As long as she got clothes on her back, she got food to eat, shelter over her head, and everything else that she need. Ain't no reason nobody should be coming for my parenting. Only reason why kids open their mouth and carry on the way they do, especially teenagers, is because they realize their parents are starting to live for themselves and they don't like it. And I'm here to let you know, stop letting your children, stop giving them that much leeway. See, you supposed to give them a little. But see, a lot of times we give them an inch and they take a mile. Give them a little. And if they want to take it and run off, that's on them. But you ain't obligated to make them drink your wisdom, your knowledge, your understanding, your understanding, and none of that. You're not. It's on them. But just like you out there rooting for them and making sure they get good grades and everything else, they should root for you the same when you out there being happy and trying to love on yourself and grow and create generational wealth for them. All of that. And if your kids are not rooting for you, then they're against you. Ain't no other way around it. And don't think for once that your kids won't be against you, because they will. Especially when you try to find happiness, because you've been a child before. Go back to when you've been a kid before. I've been a kid before, and I can remember when my mama got with a couple of guys, and I can remember when we didn't want her with them guys either. I can remember when we told her, well, I don't want you with him, and da. And guess what? My mama still went and chose her happiness. So at the end of the day, pop your shit. And no matter how it make their ass feel, they gonna be all right. They gonna have to scratch their ass and get glad later. But put you first too. Especially, I'm not saying if you one of them parents that don't never put your kids first. I ain't talking about them. I ain't talking about them parents who always put themselves first, who always clubbing and buying your lace front wigs and your kids out here have dirty and hair nip. I ain't talking about y'all. I'm talking about the people who are like myself, who will go without just so their children can have. Those are the people I'm telling to go pop their shit. It's time. And I don't care. Your kids, let them fall out. Let them act a fool. Let them hoop and holler. Drop them off at the babysitter and go have a funky good time. And when you come back and when you get through, when they get through with it all, I'm still your mama. I'm still your daddy. And let's do this thing. Okay? So don't fall in the trap of the okie dokes of the tantrum. It is time to get our village back together. And these kids are getting upset because now we as parents are standing up, putting our foot down and standing our ground. And that's what we got to do. They're not going to like it, but they'll love you for it later. They're going to act a fool now, but they'll appreciate it later. I've been that child where I didn't want rules. I didn't want boundaries. I didn't want none of that. But when I got older, I went to my mama and I said, thank you. I can remember being young and saying, mama, not before I went to say it to her, but I would say to my friend, I can't wait to move out. I can't stand her. But then now that I gotten older, I go to her and I say, you know what, mama, I get it now. Thank you. So do not be afraid to put your foot down with your children. If they is fed, clothed, and sheltered, they got everything they need. You ain't obligated to give them the wants. You're not. It's not in the book anywhere. And if you have a book that says it, please pull it up and show it to me. And don't worry, I'll wait. Because I know it's not there. So, at the end of the day, as long as their needs are fulfilled, the wants is just extra. And see, the problem is we have filled too many of these children's wants and not enough of their needs. And right now, they need discipline. They need to know their fucking places. They need to get back in a child's place. And it's our job to make sure they do that, whether they like it or not. If we spare the rod, we spoil the child. And a lot of people are mad at me because I'm pulling up my rod and I'm not spoiling my child. So with all due respect, exit stage left, because baby girl, baby boy, this is not the place for you, because we ain't in the business of sparing that rod anymore. I don't have to hit my child to discipline my child. So at the end of the day, whether she likes what I'm saying or doing, online, offline, in the house, around the house, as long as I'm not abusing her, shouldn't nobody be pouring their lips coming at me about my motherhood, period. Now I can see if she was showing up with black eyes and hair snatched out her head and beaten, battered and bruised by electric extension cords and all of that. Can't nobody pull up none of that abuse saying that I abused her. So at the end of the day, shut up talking to me when you get through with it. And I'm finna pop my shit whether people like it or not. Whether she likes it or not. And I encourage any other parent who has not popped their shit to go pop their shit because their kids don't want them to. Forget that. And 7 said that. And with that being said, over and out. I love you. Peace and love.